Celine Cremer was a bright and curious soul, someone who found meaning in the simple beauty of the world around her. At just 31 years old, she had already seen more of Europe than most people twice. Her age, immersing herself in different cultures, landscapes, and the stories hidden within them. Her passion was photography, but not just the kind meant for postcards or social media. Celine sought out quiet details, textures of old stone walls, shafts of light through forest canopies, the stillness of water at dawn. In early 2023, her travels brought her to Tasmania, Australia's remote island state, a place renowned for its rugged wilderness, ancient rainforests, and haunting landscapes that feel untouched by time. For Celine, Tasmania wasn't simply another stop on her journey, it was a retreat. Friends would later describe how she craved places that were tranquil rather than crowded, places where she could reflect and reconnect with herself. One of the spots that captured her imagination was Philosopher Falls, a hidden waterfall in the Tarkine rainforest of northwest Tasmania. The trail leading there winds through towering myrtle trees, moss-draped trunks, and a canopy alive with the sound of running water and birdsong. Though just a short drive from the old mining town of Waratah, the forest feels otherworldly, as if frozen in time for millions of years. Visitors often speak of Philosopher Falls as both serene and eerie, a place where nature's beauty and power are deeply felt. On June 17, 2023, Celine set out to walk the Philosopher Falls track. The hike itself wasn't particularly dangerous, but Tasmania's winter weather can be unpredictable. Heavy rain often leaves trails slick with mud, and the highland air near Waratah can drop close to freezing once the sun goes down. Locals warn hikers to dress warmly, be cautious, and never venture alone without telling someone. But Celine, independent and self-reliant, chose to go on her own. In her final days online, there was no trace of fear or hesitation. Her posts reflected a quiet appreciation for the wilderness she was discovering, a calm joy in being where few others ventured. But then she vanished. When Celine failed to contact friends or family for several days, concern quickly mounted. On June 27th, police made a chilling discovery. Her white Honda CR-V, license plate E4OTF, was found parked at the Philosopher Falls car park. Inside were her personal belongings, untouched, as if she had intended only a short walk. What happened after she left that car remains a mystery. When police found Celine's car at the Philosopher Falls car park, they estimated it had been sitting there for nearly a week. Around that same time, her mobile phone had gone silent. Back in Belgium, her family had already grown alarmed. She had missed a scheduled ferry to Melbourne on June 21st and stopped responding to any messages. By June 26th, they filed a formal concern for welfare report. Authorities in Tasmania wasted no time. A full-scale search was launched involving police, CIS volunteers, local rescue teams, helicopters, drones, and even a cadaver detection dog flown in from New South Wales. Searchers pushed through freezing rain, snow, and brutal winter winds, scouring the rainforest for any trace of the missing traveler. From the outset, investigators leaned toward a tragic accident rather than foul play. Celine was believed to be lightly equipped, prepared only for a day walk, not for the unforgiving Tasmanian wilderness in the dead of winter. But despite the exhaustive efforts, nothing surfaced. Not a shoe, not a scrap of clothing, not a single clue. With the official search suspended, Celine's family turned to Ken Gamble, a private investigator and cybercrime specialist, known for working on complex missing persons cases. With permission, Gamble accessed Celine's Google account data and uncovered a chilling breadcrumb trail. More than 40 GPS points tracking her movements on June 17th, right up until 4:18 p.m. The data suggested Celine had strayed from the main trail, crossed 7 Mill Creek, and climbed toward higher ground, an area Gamble later argued had not been thoroughly searched. In April and May of 2024, Gamble's team carried out their own ground searches, crawling beneath fallen logs, hacking through dense undergrowth, and battling the unforgiving terrain. He also enlisted drone expert Daniel Wood, who deployed LiDAR mapping technology to scan the forest floor. The scans revealed anomalous-odd patches of color, shapes that stood out from the forest's natural patterns. But when teams returned to investigate, nothing conclusive was found. Celine Cremer remained missing. Ken Gamble believes Celine likely followed her phone's map app uphill after veering off the main track. Based on the data, he maintains she is still within a 1-kilometer radius of her last recorded location. Yet despite extensive ground searches, drones, helicopters, and advanced mapping technology, no physical trace has ever been found. By June 29th, police no longer softened their language. Expert medical advice concluded that the conditions Celine would have endured, cold, snow, and constant wet exposure, were not survivable over the time she was exposed. On July 10, 2023, the search was officially suspended. Authorities stressed, however, that missing persons cases are never truly closed, and that any credible new lead would be investigated. Philosopher Falls can appear deceptively simple. A well-marked 45-minute trail winding through moss-laden forest and relics of Tasmania's tin mining past. Yet beneath its beauty lies danger. Historical signs warn of rotting branches and moss-covered sinkholes, capable of collapsing underfoot like traps, swallowing the unwary without a trace. For some, the parallel to Celine's vanishing feels grimly fitting. Tasmanian police maintain there is no evidence of foul play. Investigators believe Celine likely wandered from the trail into unforgiving bushland, where disorientation or exposure sealed her fate. In June 2024, Commander Stuart Wilkinson emphasized that false tips and speculation had only deepened the family's distress. For her loved ones in Belgium, the uncertainty is unbearable. Her mother, Ariane, has spoken of her conviction that Celine died in a tragic accident, but longs for closure. I really hope they find my daughter again. It would give us an answer to all the questions we have. Her sister Emily and lifelong friend Justine Royd have refused to let her story fade. In December 2025, 2.5 years after Celine disappeared, a group of friends plans to mount their own private search, guided by local police, Gamble, and volunteers, hoping to uncover even the smallest trace. As one friend wrote, "Time passes, but the silence remains unbearable. We no longer hope for miracles, only answers." At the time of her disappearance, Celine Cremer was 31 years old, a Belgian national. She had a slim build, fair complexion, blonde hair, and brown eyes. She had a tattoo on her right arm and a nose piercing. Today she would be 33. Her exact clothing and belongings on the day remain unknown. Police continue to urge anyone who visited Philosopher Falls between June 17th and 18th, 2023 to come forward, no matter how minor the detail. They stress that Tasmania's dense rainforest, coupled with winter's cold, fog, and poor visibility, makes searching extraordinarily difficult. For now, the forest remains silent, but Celine's story endures through the tireless efforts of those who refuse to stop searching, and through the hope that one day, her family may find the closure they desperately seek. If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Celine Cremer, please contact Crime Stoppers Australia at 1-8003-3300.